Hi everyone, Dr. Janessa, Naturopathic Doctor here. Welcome to the fifth and final video in the series where we are taking a look at blue light, screen time, and how they both relate to your health. This is the video where I tie it all together and leave you with those 5 health tips that you can incorporate into your healthy lifestyle. So let's get right to them. Number 1. Sleep in the dark. Support your sleep-wake cycle with the absence of light at specific times. Set yourself up well for the next day by sleeping in darkness. So here, the goal is really to create as dark of a space as you can within your bedroom to really facilitate a good night's sleep in supporting that sleep-wake cycle. So the use of blackout curtains can be especially beneficial. You know, if you have a lot of artificial light coming in through your window and it's not so dark inside, you know, those are a great way of, again, cutting out that extra light and making it even that more dark. And then also, you don't want flashing electronics, flashing lights from your electronics or other sources of light within your bedroom. So even something as simple as turning your electronic alarm clock to face away from you before going to bed can be helpful, so it's not shining on you as you sleep. Number 2, seek bright light exposure upon waking. When you get up in the morning, pull back those curtains and have that sunshine pour in. And even take a few deep breaths as you register that light. So just as, as this lady's doing in the picture here, you want to tell your body that it's now daytime. And, you're done with that dark, long, restful night's sleep, and it's time to flip the switch and begin your day. So, and I do recognize, that sometimes, when we're especially here in the Canadian winters, right, we're waking up and it's very much still dark outside. So to get around that, I encourage you, whenever you can, pop outside and get in some of that fresh air and sunlight within your day. So that, maybe wedging out a few minutes of your lunch break to just step outside, move around a bit for some extra bonus and take a few deep breaths, just hang out outside for a bit, get that fresh air and sunlight. All right, so to recap, number 1, sleep in the darkness. Health tip number 2, seek that bright light exposure upon waking. And now, number 3, avoid excessive screen time. Give your eyes a break. The Canadian Pediatric Society recommends for children 2 to 5 years of age to limit regular screen time to less than 1 hour per day and to avoid screens at least 1 hour before bed. And screen time for children under 2 years of age is not recommended. Public Health Ontario recommends no more than 2 hours per day of screen time for children and adolescents age 5 to 17. These populations, adolescents and children, seem to be particularly sensitive and vulnerable to the exposure to screen time and blue light. So, honor those recommendations as best you can and be mindful of how long you're actually spending in front of those screens. So, perhaps you want to, avail of some apps out there to give you a better sense, but just, cue in and kind of recap and maybe ask yourself, how long have I really been in front of a screen cumulatively across all the screens that I may encounter over my day. Number 4, limit screen time in the evenings, especially before bed. Explore other non-screen activities in the evenings, such as reading a book, journaling, and play. So adults, side note, little caveat, we don't get enough play into our lives. And just because we're adults now and not children doesn't mean we should lose that that incorporation of play in our day-to-day. We see an important tie to that when it comes to health and wellness. So, ditch the screen time and go play with your kids, or be goofy, spontaneous dance party, whatever it may be. But truly try to limit your screen time in the evenings, especially before bedtime. Number 5, when possible, switch electronics to reduced blue light emissions, night shift mode for those evening hours. Many electronics, such as smartphones, provide the option to actually adjust the lighting settings to reduce that blue light exposure for yourself. So go ahead, check out your settings and schedule the reduced blue light emissions mode specifically for those evening hours. So again, guys, this is a general recommendation for those on regular daytime hours. So if you're working night shift, it's going to look a bit different, but in general, you are aiming to strategically and specifically schedule that blue light emissions from your phones and whatever other electronics you're using in the evening for specifically those evening hours. So, I speculate that, more is not better, and you don't necessarily want to turn it off all the time, as you may be playing a bit of a trick on your body if you shut that down during the day. Potentially, your body may be getting the message that it's not daytime and it may be night. So I just caution you with respect to that. So really, here the general recommendation would be to adjust that for those hours when the sun's down, those nighttime evening hours. Okay, to recap, number 1, sleep in the dark. Number 2, seek bright light exposure upon waking. 3, avoid excessive screen time. Give those eyes a break. Number 4, limit screen time in the evenings, especially before bed. And 5, when possible, switch electronics to reduced blue light emissions for those evening hours. And there you have it, guys. Those are the 5 tips for boosting your health when it comes to exposure to blue light and screen time. And to wrap it all up, I really do agree with this passage from the research, which is stressing the importance of being exposed to light at optimal times and intensities during the day based on the concept of the circadian clock, ultimately to improve quality of life and to have a healthy and longer life. Be sure to pick up your own copy of the tips we just covered through the mailing list community by following the link on the screen there, which will also be provided in the video's description. And to check out some of the other educational content that I have, head to my website at drjanessa-nd.com. All right, well, this wraps up the series. Thanks for following along, and go ahead and post your comments through Instagram or Facebook. Here's to forward wellness and sustainable health. Have a great one, guys.